Reformer Pilates, is it worth the hype? Today, I'm going to be talking about my experiences with Pilates, and you can judge, is it going to be right for you? Also, I'll be reviewing B-URN Pilates in Cairo, so if you're interested to know my experience there, stick around. So before we get in, I'm just going to do a quick dive into the history of Pilates. So Pilates was invented by Joseph Pilates. Yes, an actual person. He was a German born in 1883, and basically he devised this thing called contrology, which is precise controlled movements with the focus to aim the body and the mind. So basically a German version of yoga. So after World War I, he invented the reformer machine, and he used it to rehabilitate all the injured soldiers after their injuries from World War I. And that's how Reformer Pilates was invented. So the type of Pilates they have at B-URN isn't the classic Reformer Pilates, it's something called Megaformer. So this was invented by someone called Sebastian Lagree. So if anyone actually goes to the Pilates classes there, if you look at the little locks at the side of the machine, you'll see it says Lagree, because obviously it's his school of Pilates, the Megaformer Pilates. So it's been called Pilates on steroids because it's very intense and it's really focused on resistance and cardio. So it's a little bit tougher than the classic Reformer Pilates, which had rehabilitation in mind. So I've been going to B-URN since 2021. I don't know if that's when they first opened, but when I first saw they had the machine Pilates, I was like, sign me up. So B-URN has 3 types of classes. They have the Versa, they have the mat classes, and then they have the Megaformer. So the Versa is like, I don't know how to describe it, but basically it's like mountain climbers on speed. It's like an experience to attend a Versa class. Basically, it's like dim lights, like music pumping, and you're on this machine where it's like you're climbing upstairs, but using your hands to climb as well. It is so intense. I tried it once and I was dead. So I tried it again. I was like, maybe second time will be easier. And I was also dead. But bear in mind, cardio is not something I'm a fan of. So I was like, do you know what? Versa, it's not for me. They have the mat classes, which are absolutely amazing. They use ankle weights and it really tones your body, and they target all the areas of your body: arms, core, legs, bum, everything. So by the end of that hour, you feel really sculpted. And then we have my favorite, which is Megaformer. I love Megaformer, even though I hate it when I'm in the class. I hate it. Like the first 15 minutes of Megaformer, I'm like constantly looking at the clock and I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I've been here for 10 years. How is it only 15 minutes? And then by the 30-minute mark, you're kind of easing your way into it. And then by the time the class is finished, you're like, oh, that actually, passed really quickly. I really like Megaformer because it's intense. It's like, so for me, I'm the type of person who likes to go in and out of the gym in an hour. I just don't have the attention to be in the gym for more than 45 minutes or an hour because like ADHD. Basically, I want a workout that's super intense, super effective, and super quick. So if you're into that kind of workout, that's the Megaformer. It's so intense, like your muscles start shaking because the positions are so hard to hold. But I love it because it tones you so much. So the idea behind Megaformer is you're on this machine and it has springs, and it's weighted springs, and it's adjusted according to your level and the type of exercise you're doing. So imagine you're doing a normal squat or a normal plank. You're using your muscles, but then imagine you're doing it on a machine that moves. So you have to use every single muscle in your body to control the machine so you're not falling off. Because you're on kind of like an unstable machine, you're using muscles you never used before, and then it tones your core and other muscles that you use really quickly because you just have to use your whole body to stay in one place. Effective class, but it's intense. Like, it's not for beginners. You have to be able to hold a plank for a minute, I'd say, before you even attempt doing a Megaformer class. Like, just to give you an idea how intense it is, when the trainer's like, okay, we're going to hold in a plank, that's like the easy bit. That's like the rest. Like, you know, when you're like, okay, take 5, we're going to do another set. That's like the rest. So like just holding yourself in a plank, that's the easy bit of a Megaformer class. When I first started going to B-URN in 2021, I was able to go to classes easily. I could book them easily. It wasn't even full all the time, but then like suddenly it became super because it's super effective. I guess word of mouth spread and everyone wanted to go to Pilates. I think also it coincided with the, you know, the Pilates princess movement that was on Pinterest a couple of years ago, where it was like, you know, look, I don't understand all these aesthetics and Pinterest things, but my daughter was like, oh, Pilates princess is a thing now. And suddenly it was cooler to do Pilates. So I'm going to give you a quick list of what I think are the pros and cons of B-URN's Megaformer classes. So I'll start with the pros. The pros are it gets you snatched. Like, I just had a baby in April, and the only time people were like, oh, you look good, oh, you're, you know, getting back in shape, was like 2 weeks after I started Megaformer Pilates. I'm not going to lie. The first time I did the class was like a year after I'd done the last class, because after the first trimester, I found it quite hard to keep up with the Megaformer classes. So I'd stopped for around a year. And the first class I went to after pregnancy, oh my God, I was dead. It took days just to be able to, you know, walk normally again. But I kept at it, and slowly you feel your strength is beginning to return. Pilates gets you snatched. It's super effective. If you want a quick workout, just 45 minutes, in, out, done, out, effective, it's for you. The venue is very nice. So I go to the new Cairo branch, and it's in Swan Lake by Kazuko, which is a really nice place. And I just love walking there in the morning. It's just a really nice way to start your day. And it's very aesthetically pleasing. The classroom is really nice. It's overlooking a pool. There are trees, natural sunlight. It's a lovely location. The trainers are amazing. They're super positive, super upbeat, and super wonderful. I've been to loads of different classes, and I can honestly, hand to heart, say this, they're all amazing. They all take care of you. They're all like, you know, they have an eye on everyone to make sure you're in the right position. There are a lot of lunges in the Megaformer classes, and personally I prefer activities with the legs that include a lot of lunges, just because lunges, when you do them repetitively, they give you that kind of sleek, lean, toned look, which I'm a fan of. When I did go to the gym and I was doing, you know, the weighted leg presses and all that kind of stuff, I just felt my legs started to look a bit bulky, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I just prefer the long, lean aesthetic, which Pilates does give you. This is maybe a pro and a con depending on who you are, but everyone who goes there is like dressed up to the nines. Even in the 7 a.m. classes, they all have their hair brushed in a perfect sleek bun. Some people have like, you know, proper makeup on. They all have jewelry. They all have, you know, the Cloud 9s and the Lululemon and the Alo Yoga sets. It's like literally like falling into a Pilates Pinterest board. So that might be a pro if you like that kind of thing. It might be a con if you're just like someone who wakes up, ties their hair in a messy knot, and grabs the first thing that they have, and they're just grateful they arrived to a workout class. It depends on who you are. The cons, I would say, are it is quite expensive. So I think a package of 10 Megaformer classes is 5,500 Egyptian pounds, which is, just for context, my 3-month membership in my local gym is the same price. So one class would be around €10. To be fair, I've done Reformer Pilates all over the world. I've done it in Egypt, I've done it in Cyprus, I've done it in the UK and Ireland. They're all around the same price range, but hands down, this is the best Pilates class I've ever attended. This is it. I think I might be a bit sadistic when it comes to my workouts. Like, I want to feel dead at the end, or else I feel like I haven't worked out. Some of the Reformer Pilates I've been to, it was like good and I did feel toned, but I just didn't get that feeling, you know, after a proper good workout. So it is expensive compared to like a gym membership, but I think it's worth it. And another con, it's almost impossible to get classes. Like, I think finding like a kidney off the black market would be easier than getting into one of those classes. So they have an app, and you can just book on the app, and then they release all the classes at like 9:30 on a specific day. When I go on that app at 9:30, I swear to God, the app doesn't even work because the amount of people on it booking classes. What I do to ensure I get classes are I go on the waiting list, I book early, and I just hope enough people cancel that I get a place on the list. The second thing I do is I go to the 7 a.m. classes. So this works for me because I wake up at 5:30 anyway, and I prefer doing workouts first thing. So for me, doing a workout at 7 a.m., it just suits me and my lifestyle. And because I have a baby, and the baby usually wakes up at 8 to 8:30, by the time I'm home, the baby's up, and then my husband is sleeping, the baby's sleeping, and it's just not an inconvenience for anyone if I go to the 7 a.m. ones. Another con for me is the location, because I live in Maidi, and they have three locations: Swan Lake, Zamalek, and New Giza. New Giza is like miles away. Swan Lake is probably the easiest one for me to get to. And the Zamalek one, I used to go there when I lived in Zamalek. They don't have the Megaformer in Zamalek, but they have the Versa and the mat classes, which are super effective as well. But I would prefer if they had the Megaformer or even the mat classes in Maidi. I really hope they open a branch here soon. I think they'll do really well because the community here is like the clientele that kind of would frequent B-URN anyway. And I'd say another con, although it's not a con for me, is it doesn't really target the type of exercises men would go for. So when I went to one of the Megaformer classes with my husband, he thought it was really good, but he said it felt like it was targeting the muscles that women would want to target, like a perky glute, side obliques for a snatched waist, and then toned arms. And they're not usually the muscle groups that men would go to. So maybe if they wanted to include more men, they might have more generic classes, I guess, targeting kind of the whole body, or maybe floor Pilates for men that would focus on strength and flexibility. But then again, they're doing so well, they probably don't even need the men because the women are all clambering to get classes. But that's my review for B-URN Pilates. Let me know if you've been to any of their classes. I love them so much. I think they're amazing. So let me know if you've ever tried them before, what your experiences are, and yeah, that's it. Okay, bye.